Now let's quickly get into the code walkthrough. So since we are dealing with exposing user creation as a RESTful API method, so we will start with user package here. So here you can see the user package I have defined and under admin module, and this is the delivery package where you can refer here in the architecture. So basically it's a web layer, and here is the user handler model. So what I'm doing here is like creating a user handler function to handle the RESTful CRUD operations. And then here I'm defining, I have used echo to create the HTTP methods to receive the request from the web layer. So I've defined the methods here. You can see the handlers, and we can navigate to the use case called store, wherein I intend to save the user details into the MySQL DB. So basically I've taken a context instance, and using this context instance I have binded user details to the context, and then validated that request, and along with that request, then after that I pass that context along with user details to my use case method store, which we can navigate here under use case package. So basically use case will handle all our business logic which involves with any specific use case. For instance, here I am creating user details into the database. So what I required is to validate the roles, existing roles in the database, whether it's a valid role ID which I am receiving from the user request. Also, I have to check whether there is an already user created with this employee number. So this is the logic which I've created. So after checking, then I have used encryption mechanism to encrypt this password, and then I'm using the repository package to store the details into the database. So now we will see in the repository under store. So this repository package is obtaining the DB connection here, and then as we can see, user details are passed into by here instance, and then we create a user record in the MySQL DB. So let's quickly start this application and see how it works. So we'll initiate the Docker, and then we try to run the Go application, and we will see through the Postman how the user creation works. Let's quickly get into it. So I'm starting Windows PowerShell in my case, and then starting my Docker container for my schema. So since I've already created schema called myschema in my in my previous videos. You can watch my previous videos for that, how to set up your Docker for MySQL. So I have already provided this as a links in my description, so you can follow them. But now I'll quickly start my schema. Yeah, that looks good. So okay, now let's get into the Go. To run this project, you can use a command called go run main.go. So okay, yeah, I have written some logs so that you can see from the console that application is started, and then it's running on the port. Database port is 3306. Connection is established from the Go application to the MySQL. So yeah, and Go application is running on port 9090. So where I have configured all this IP address or port numbers, you can go to config.json. Here I have defined my Go application server address to run on port 9090, and the host, since I'm running in my local, I've given localhost, and then I've given some timeout period. And then these are the database credentials which I have provided here. And yeah, how would I obtain them into my Go application is using this config struct. I've defined a similar config struct which you can correlate to the config.json. Yeah. And then defined a load function to load that JSON file. Yeah, so when we start the application, I intend to load that config.json file, and to show obtained database port, I've just was printing this database port in my console. So after that, I've initiated the middleware and then created database instance, because I need to pass that instance to initiate my repositories here. Here for my use case, I'm using user repo, role repo, user role repo. Yeah, and yeah, also initiated use case and my web layer. So yeah, that's briefly about how I trigger this credentials. Okay, then let's go into Postman and try to create one user. Okay, let me before creating this user from the Postman, let's see in the MySQL whether the table is empty or it is already having. Yeah, you can see that the table is empty. So let's trigger from Postman. And since I'm running on port 9090, so I would execute from the port 9090 and my local server IP, local host. So this is the user resource name. Yeah, so I trigger the Postman method here. So yeah, it seems fine since I got the status 201 created. Let's go into MySQL and see if I can see the details. Yeah, I can see that the record with username 101101 successfully created, and the password is encrypted, and the name is Rohit. Yeah. can see here, city Hyderabad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And address is Samajigura. Okay, fine. So that gives a confirmation that basically this RESTful API successfully created to receive the request from Postman. So let's move on to the update function here, update method, wherein I intend to update the same record using Postman. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, and you can notice that I have the success status, and then address is updated to the new address from the previous address. So yeah, and let's see how to retrieve the same user created from the database. So yeah, so let's see. Yeah, you can see we received user details after querying with the employee number. Yeah, that's it, guys. So we have seen in this tutorial, we have seen how to create a user, update a user details, and how to get the details. And then I will provide this source code in my Git repository, and I'll add that Git repository into this video. So hope you, we'll see in the next video. Thank you.